How to clear your head and your mind. If you feel exhausted all the time, if you get brain fog, if you cannot focus in the morning, or if it takes a couple of hours for you to start your engine, well, by changing one thing, you can fix all of that. And here is how. The vast majority of us have glucose spikes throughout the day. Rapid increases in glucose levels and then the drop lead to many symptoms like brain fog, chronic fatigue, craving, hunger, skin issues, poor sleep, and the list goes on and on. The problem, glucose 101. Now, glucose is your body's favorite source of energy. Every single cell in your body uses glucose for energy. Right now, your brain cells are using glucose so you can think and understand what you're hearing. Your heart cells use glucose, your finger cells use glucose, all parts of your body use glucose for energy, and that's a good thing. The main way that we give glucose to our body is by eating starchy foods and sweet foods. Starchy foods are like bread, pasta, rice, potatoes, etc. And sweet foods are anything that tastes sweet, from an apple to your favorite ice cream. So anything starchy or sweet gives glucose to your body. And you might think, okay, well, if glucose is my body's source of energy and I want to have as much energy as possible, then I should just eat as much ice cream and pasta as I can. Right? Well, no. It's like you have a plant at home and you know your plant needs water to survive. But if you give your plant too much water, it dies. The human body is the same with glucose. So if you give too much glucose to your body during a meal, you're going to experience what's called the glucose spike, which is a rapid increase in the amount of glucose in your body and then a rapid drop. Those spikes are the reason we are having all those symptoms that we talked about, from brain fog to cravings and fatigue, and also many long-term issues. That was Glucose 101. Solution: curb your glucose. The solution is not to avoid or not have any sugar or starchy foods. And also it's not about how much we eat. It's about what to eat when and in what order to keep the glucose level steady. The key is to keep it steady within an ideal range. When we wake up and start our day, our glucose level is not high. So we want to avoid the glucose spike. You've heard breakfast is the most important meal. That's true, but for a different reason. If breakfast gives you a big glucose spike, meaning if you have lots of starches and sugar, for example, fruit juice and some granola, some bread and jam, cereal, or a fruit smoothie, that's going to create a massive glucose spike. And then that morning glucose spike is going to kick off a roller coaster for the rest of the day. A roller coaster of cravings and fatigue. And all of a sudden it's 9 p.m. and you have had 35 cookies and you're like, how did this happen? Well, look at your breakfast. So the most life-changing thing you can do to completely transform your day is by transforming your glucose levels throughout the day and maintain a steady glucose level just by switching your breakfast from a sweet breakfast to a savory breakfast. A savory breakfast is built around protein. It has a good amount of protein in it with a little bit of fat and a little bit of starches. So things like eggs, the leftover from your dinner, fish, tofu, protein powder, and maybe some fat like avocado. Omelette or scrambled eggs are easy and affordable and a perfect way to start your day. The breakfast spike really dictates how you're going to be doing for the rest of the day. Look at your breakfast and avoid the sweet stuff. So avoid the granolas, the breakfast cereals and the oats, honey, and anything sweet, even fruits. And switch to something savory. Have your dinner for breakfast. You can still have sweets later in the day, but for breakfast, it's very important to not have anything sweet. This is really going to help set your day on a much better path and going to help your physical and mental health thrive. The right order to eat for steady energy. Keep the glucose level steady. Besides breakfast and for the rest of the day, the simplest thing we can do to flatten these glucose curves is to eat our food in the right order. Studies have shown if you eat your meal in a specific order, you can reduce your overall glucose spike by 73% and your insulin spikes by 48%. So the right order to eat your food is veggies first, proteins and fats second, then starches and sugars last. So let's say your meal contains pasta, salmon, salad, avocado, and a cookie. The right order to minimize the glucose spike is to start with the salad, then the salmon and the avocado, and then the pasta, and lastly, the cookie. If you do this, you can still eat the meal that you love, but reduce the impact on your body and your glucose levels. So start with the veggies and keep the carbs for the end of the meal. So instead of rushing to the bread before anything else, keep the bread for after your main meal. And the reason is, as you know, veggies contain fiber. When we start our meal with vegetables, The fiber in the veggies coat our upper intestine and creates a protective cover that helps to slow down how quickly glucose molecules from the rest of the meal can make their way to your bloodstream. So you're still eating the same meal, but with vegetables first, you're protecting your body against those glucose spikes. I just summarized what I've learned from multiple resources in this short video. But if you'd like to learn more about this topic, I encourage you to watch these two videos. And please don't forget to subscribe and let me know what you think in the comments. Thanks for watching. See you next week.